Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
5 years ago, the Power of We Symposium was created to provide a platform for kids from all sectors where they could have a safe and comfortable environment in which to share both their joys and concerns. The Power of We Symposium is proud to have served over 250 kids throughout Romania when we took our mission global back in May of 2023. Now, 2 teams of amazing volunteers from both the U.S. and Romania embarked on an 8-day Legacy of Hope tour, bringing encouragement and hope to not only the kids of Romania, but also the adults who support them, and also to over 100 kids here in the U.S. who contributed handwritten letters of hope to our Romania mission of 2023. Now, this year, we are proud to provide this opportunity yet again in October, and we are super excited to up our game. New venue, 750 kids this time, and we want to see you there. We're looking forward to meeting you in person at this year's event, which promises, as always, incredible speakers, amazing content, and, of course, some of the greatest kids on the planet. So, mark your calendars for October 24th, and we'll see you here in Chicagoland for the Power of We Symposium 2024. This year's theme is Always Together, Never Alone. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite or at powerofwesymposium.com.
Don't see what's yours for the take.
tonight. Too funny. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, here's why it's funny. It's happened before. It dawned on me while I was coming into the show. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, I came clean the last time. I forgot all about that confession. So what I'm talking about is every now and then I have a guest whose life is so wonderful. They're so busy that it just doesn't line up. But their story is so good that I pre-record them. Now, in television, they tell you you're supposed to just trick y'all. They'll think it's live because it was. And at first I was like, ooh, that's a challenge. But then it gets to the point where I'm like, I would say the wrong date. And I was like, where's Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo? Upstairs in the dishwasher from this morning. But I did remember, I was going to sit down in the same outfit I wore this morning, which when you see this would have been yesterday morning. You see where I'm going with this? How confusing. It's like patting your head and rubbing your stomach at the same. I can't do it. I can't double Dutch. Can't do double Dutch. I can't shoot except a granny shot in basketball. Certain things just don't work with me. So we recorded this last night, but you're seeing it really this morning, so it's this morning. Because I want to be here with you. And you'll see it's worth it. And so announcements. You're going to have a replay on Friday, I told you. And another replay on Monday. Now, you've got to be something really big. I'm in the air. I'm speaking somewhere. If I'm going to give you guys a rerun. Which all of them are good. So still a win for you, right? I'm on my way to Atlanta. Finally, it sucks when you're in the last 20 minutes of a movie. I mean, you watch them make it for months. And then finally, your moment comes. Now I'm nervous, right? I'm like Cindy Brady. Remember when the red light came on? She was like, what's wrong with Cindy? She's like, I'm going to be a star. No, you wouldn't. So that's what I'm afraid of. But I'm going. I'm not claiming that. I rebuke it. Anyway, headed to Atlanta for my 2-day filming of Fatal Betrayal. Fatal Betrayal. Second movie. Wasn't even looking. Won't God do it? Can I get an amen? There. Second one of the day. We're off to a great start. And also, second one of these. Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments, even if it is yesterday. Oh, you guys are going to be like, where am I? Who am I by the time we get through this hour? Listen, great show today. So I will see you guys for a couple more days this week. Then I'll be back next week. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to go live on my page from down there. You know, I like going behind the scenes. Not enough to get sued or kicked off the set. So don't ask me. Y'all almost got me fired on the set of Heathen. No, I didn't know better. So I won't be doing that again. So listen, you guys, today, there it is again. Great person here with us. This is going to be so much fun. Her name is Toni LaShaun. She is an artist. She's so many things. Well, let me give you her full name, okay? But you know, when she's doing her thing, she's Toni LaShaun. But when her mama call her or something, okay, grandmama, even that one. Toni LaShaun Wortherly. She is a multi-talented artist hailing from Jacksonville, Florida. And she's also a dynamic singer. She's a songwriter. She's an accomplished author, an engaging speaker, an educator, and she's just got so many things. You know, I'd read only the first 15 words in the. They kill me when they send it. I said, give me a brief bio. See, because they think I'm gonna just because I don't think it's worth it talking about. I want you to hear from them. So I'm gonna get her in here. You know, I do it all the time. I let the guests have a minute at the beginning just to create their own vibe with you. And at nighttime, or is it morning? There it is again. This is gonna be. What if this was a drinking game? It is nighttime for me anyway, but not you. You'll be drunk all day. See what I'm saying? Oh my God! What are you gonna do when you see this? I'm triggered. It's 8 o'clock, and well, just remember this. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. On a roll. On a roll. Here she comes. Put some hearts on the screen. It's our way of saying welcome, and it's a virtual way of getting to our feet. A standing ovation. Here I hear them. Ooh, she's wearing heels today. Come on in here, or is it tonight?
I love the music. I'm like, hey.
Thank you. And guess what, Toni? Welcome. Guess what the funny part is?
What?
This is really tea. This is tea. There's tea bags down here. See, look, tea. right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's wine, and I haven't even touched it yet. Can you imagine by the halfway through mark? Don't worry, I'll be good. It's so good to see you, and thank you for coming in here. Let me move my little hand. Coming in here and pouring into us today. Um, right?
Yeah.
To do this more often. What I'm really excited. We got some music to share with the audience, a great story. But like I promised them, I'm going to dip out for about 60 seconds, maybe even a little longer, and let you just create your own vibe with everybody. Tell them what is what I refer to as your red carpet, and roll it out for them so we can come back and pour into them. Will you do that?
I will.
Okay, all you take it away.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Toni LaShaun Worderly. I am here today because I am on a mission. I'm on a mission to make sure that anyone who is out there in the world that is suffering from, dealing with, battling with any mental health issues knows that you are not alone. Okay, I'm an educator by trade. I am not a therapist, although I've had plenty. I am just a regular human being like other people. And I know what it feels like to be lost in darkness and feel like no one else could possibly understand what you're going through. But because of my experiences in life and where I am, where I feel like I am out on the other side of a dark cloud, I feel led to speak out to people. I feel a passion to share my story, to share my testimony, to let people understand and know that you are not alone. We all face different times. My specific issue deals with anxiety, and I have developed through years and years. I used to call it struggling with anxiety. Now I call it battling anxiety because I'm in a fight, and because I have God on my side, I'm winning that fight. So I want everyone who's listening to listen in and really understand, first and foremost, you're not alone and there is a way out.
Oh, I almost forgot I was working. I was like, what's she stopping for? Right. Okay, good. Okay, well, go on in with your bad self. All right, Miss Toni. So let's go back. So first of all, tell everybody where you're at in the world. What part of the country you live in?
I am in Jacksonville, Florida.
Where there's never any snow.
There was once. Okay, so this is a funny story. We moved here in 1989. We moved here from Virginia. My father was in the Navy, and this was our last military duty station was in Mayport in Jacksonville, Florida. My brother was 3 or 4 years old at the time when we moved, and he was like, "We're moving to Florida. Are we going to see snow?" And my parents were like, "No, it doesn't snow in Florida." Well, let me just tell you, we moved here in June of 1989. December 23rd, 1989 was the last time that it snowed in Jacksonville, Florida. It really did snow here in Jacksonville.
You remember it?
I remember it. We all remember it.
Was it just like in the air?
There was ice and some of it stuck, and no one in Florida knew what to do with snow. But my brother was really, really happy.
I made it snow. God heard my prayer. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. Who knew that was coming? See? That's what we got going on here today. Okay. Let me get my little banners and stuff. I can already tell. I'm gonna need some little stuff to put in here today. So where let's get started. You had a lot of things on your resume. I mean, faith-based, author. So let's start there. What have you written? Tell us about that.
So my first book that I wrote is called Pray While You Pray. The first pray is P-R-A-Y. The second pray is P-R-E-Y.
Explain that.
It is my testimony about my journey as a single Christian woman and all of the things that I had to navigate trying to do dating the right way, which I did things the wrong way for a very long time. I'm like not ashamed to admit it because I know grace and I've been forgiven, but I didn't do things the right way. I got divorced, And then I was trying to find myself again in the dating world and figure things out. And what I realized in that process was that I didn't need to be looking for a relationship with a man. I needed to be growing in my relationship with Christ. And so a lot of people pick up my book and they think it's like a how to find your soulmate kind of book. It's not that. It's really how to find yourself in God. That is what that book is about. It's how to be content, how to be committed instead of being completely frustrated and lonely.
I'll make a deal with you.
Okay.
I'll put this up on the screen.
Yeah.
Right. Not so quick, Missy.
So quick.
When you said, you were like, I should have wrote it down. I was too busy looking for the book. When you said, yeah, I was, anyway, it sounded like it came out of filter somewhere in my head where you're like, hey, what was she out there doing? Right. So you know that part, wherever it was, wherever that was, going back to that corner.
Yes.
If you don't mind. I know you're very transparent.
I am.
Let's peel the shade open, can we?
I tell people my life is quite literally an open book. I wrote a book that tells about that stage in my life. My parents are about to celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary. Okay. So I grew up now. They are right now.
Okay.
I grew up in a 2-parent household with parents who are madly in love with each other. They met each other 6 months later. They got married. They are still together 50 years later. So
you gotta ring a bell on that.
Yeah. So
for real.
In my view, marriage was always the goal. I always wanted to be someone's wife. I saw the relationship that my parents had, and that was just what I wanted to do. And when I was younger, in middle school, high school, the boys didn't really pay any attention to me. And then I kind of, in my senior year of high school, started to grow into myself, so to speak. And definitely once I got
blossomed.
Yes. I left high school. I still had glasses, but I didn't have braces. And then in college, I traded my glasses for contact lenses. I joined a sorority and they pumped me up and let me know how beautiful I was. The guys on college campuses let me know how beautiful that I was. And I went from having a pretty low self-esteem to being pretty conceited.
Oh, so you were Lisa Bonet on the Cosby Show.
I thought a lot of myself. Let me put it that way.
Well, okay, but at some point though, I would think, Toni, it was good. It fed your spirit. It uplifted you. But then ego, correct. Right? You see what I'm saying? Because it's like you're on a teeter-totter kind of, or crossing one of those wires between buildings with that pole, It's kind of like that, yes?
Yes, ego gets you off balance. And, my pastor always says, and I don't know if he got this quote from somebody, that ego is edging God out. And that's exactly what I did.
Write that down. I hope you don't have it patented or whatever.
Yes, ego edges God out. So at that point in my life, all of the things that I had learned throughout my life, I was raised in the church. I got saved when I was 6 years old. All of those things, all of my obedience to the Lord, that stuff went out of the window. The only person I cared about obeying and satisfying and living for was Toni Wortherly. And so I did things my way, by my own rules, by my own code,
But to be honest, or to be fair, let's say that, to be fair, a lot of religions allow, I think like the Mennonites, the Amish, and I think there are a number of religions where they let the young people go, sow your royal oats, kind of coming to America kind of thing. But then when you bring your ass back, you get ready to buckle down for the rest of eternity. Right. Really. So is that kind of what, there's always it's a part of being young. It's really a rite of passage, Toni. It's really a rite of passage. I'm just saying. Yes, doctrine and this and the other, but the reason the bull is so strong is because it's a rite of passage. So, okay, so you go and you find this piece that you didn't know was there, but did you abuse something? I'm saying, like, you know what I mean? Was it the trust of people finally being accepted? What was it?
It was actually the opposite of being accepted. It was more of constantly chasing acceptance and in
Even
all the
then,
wrong
when you were
ways.
popular all of a
Even when I
sudden?
was popular, I was still chasing acceptance, belonging, because deep down, what I really genuinely wanted
Ah,
was that relationship,
there it is. The husband.
the
Or
husband.
the prince.
Yes, the
Really,
Prince
the prince.
Charming.
Yeah, prince.
Yes,
There we go.
yes,
Yeah, because you don't got to be a husband. Just, where's my prince? Here.
right. The Mr. Right, you know.
Okay, I've been
And I
waiting.
ended up with a lot of Mr. Right Nows.
Right.
Yeah.
Always a prom committee, never a prom date. I'm just kidding. I made that up. You know, like always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Ooh, we should stop. Because did you go to prom?
I did. Okay, another interesting story. So this tells you the transition. So my junior year of high school, again, giant glasses, brace face, not super popular.
Were you awkward? What awkward?
I am 5'10". I have been 5'10" since sixth or seventh grade. Somewhere thereabouts. Okay. And at the time when I was in high school, I was maybe a $1.15 soaking wet. Tall, gangly,
Oh my God, did
glasses,
they call you
braces.
olive oil?
They did not call me olive oil. They called me a lot of other names that I'm not going to say out loud because I've buried them.
Because we had a girl
But
that was
yeah.
in that stature, and
Mhm.
that's what they would call her. She was white.
Yeah.
But they would say olive oil, olive oil. And
Yeah.
she acted like she didn't mind, but it just didn't sound nice.
Oh no, since elementary school, I was Mama Longlegs, as opposed to, you know, like the Daddy Longlegs spider. I was Mama Longlegs. I was String Bean. I was all kinds of, those are the nicer
So would you
versions
say
of what people call me.
it surpassed taunting, Toni, into the realm of literal bullying?
And it wasn't until I was a teacher that I recognized that I was being bullied when I was in school.
Because they weren't calling it that then, huh?
Right. Right. We have a lot of different labels now that didn't, well, I'm sure they did exist, but to me, you know, to me, bullying was what you saw on TV when somebody like jacks you up against the locker and steals your lunch money. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't people taunting you. It wasn't people picking on you. It wasn't all the people that were saying that I wasn't black enough. It wasn't all the, you know, the people that were saying that I was a nerd and all of that stuff. It was, and so I didn't think of it as bullying then, but I know that now.
Okay. So I'm looking for that curve in the road.
Right.
And I have a feeling. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no. So I was gonna say my junior year, I actually went to prom with my dad's intern. My dad had a college freshman interning for him in his job.
It was a date.
And he took me to prom so I didn't have to go by myself.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Which let's look at all the good things. He wouldn't have done that if he didn't enjoy your company. And did you? I mean, you didn't really feel it was a pity date, did you?
Oh, I absolutely did, especially when he shook my hand at the end of the night.
Like it was whose idea was it that he take you?
I asked my dad if he would ask him if he would, because I had met him and I just didn't want to go by myself.
Why didn't you ask him?
Because I was
same reason you weren't open enough for someone to ask. I bet there were all kind of guys that wanted to ask you.
I don't think so.
He was too short?
He was not.
No, I think the guys at school where you you said you're 5'10". That's probably cut half of the options.
Right.
And then they think you're gonna wear heels. That should be 6 feet tall. I mean, who wanna go? Yeah, I'm laughing, but I already
get it.
I was short. I still am. And I'd be nope.
Yeah.
Okay. So but still, let's go back to you walked into your own, you came to your own, feeling good about things. But because of that, looking for love in all the wrong places. Remember that? Yeah, all of us have gone through that in one season or another. But when do you feel like it turned and shifted into fifth gear as you went around that dead man's curve that sent you into being, because I got the download, so I know it happened, where you were literally angry at God?
Yeah. So
Shocked.
after college,
I don't remember
after
telling him that.
college,
I saw it on your face. You were like,
after going through this, no, I was like, yeah, I'm like,
I don't remember telling
yeah.
him that.
And it's funny because I actually had this conversation with someone, I think a week ago.
Mm.
So I got married when I was 21.
Okay. So, wow.
And I graduated from college when I was 20. I was going to go to law school after that, and I got married in between. So when I was 21, I got married to
How many
a man that
relationships had you been in before you married this guy? I'm just
that
curious.
was my second relationship.
How did the first one end?
Serious relationship. The first one ended, my high school boyfriend, we broke up. It was bad at first, but then we ended up being friends because we were friends before we started dating. And we realized that we were better as friends than as a couple.
Okay, so you were mature.
So, and we're actually we're still friends to this day. Like we still speak to each other.
Okay, so then comes along Mr. the Prince we talked about.
Then comes along my ex-husband, who's a couple of years younger than me, but both of us felt like we were ready for marriage. We were not, and we were absolutely fooling ourselves. But I thought, okay, this is how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to go to school, get your degree, get married, have a family, have your career, and things line up that way. My marriage lasted 20 months. 20 months. I sound like I'm talking about a toddler because that's like, people introduce their kid and they're like, hey, this is my son. He's 20 months old. That was my marriage. My marriage was 20 months old. Our relationship was 28 months in total. It ended because of infidelity, but that was like the main reason. But honestly, we both did things that were very wrong. I tried to, not me.
See, I had to pry it. I had to do that so you can't come back saying, you out there telling people, right. See, I drug it out of you. Right? So
yeah.
I was fair enough. See, I did that.
I will admit I did start dating someone before we were divorced, but our relationship was over at that point.
Okay, so you're in your early 20s and you're single.
I'm in my early 20s. I'm divorced, not single, right?
Yeah.
If you're in your early 20s and you're single, nobody gives you any kind of side eye. When you're in your early 20s and you're divorced, that's a whole different label.
Really?
And people are like, oh,
you're treated
wrong with you, and you're treated differently. And it was a very difficult time in my life. And I tried to get back into dating. And that is the point in my life in which I was upset with God, because I was like, I tried to do this the right way. And in my frame of mind at the time, I could only see the good things that I did. And I couldn't see everything that was wrong with how I approached being in that relationship. The bottom line was I had idolized marriage so much that I put marriage above anything. And I literally married the first person that asked me.
That's why I was going with, and how much time from the first one to the second? That's exactly the place I was headed. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. That was, I applaud you. I think if you were Jane Pittman telling this story, 119 years old, it's still going to feel like this. Yes. You know what I mean? Because it's that. Mm-hmm. Why? Because it's those monumental milestone moments in the journey that give us divine memories when the journey is ended. So they got to come with, the best lessons are the bought lessons. And so we buy it with our spirit. So let's talk about, though, because it's never about just one thing. We know that, don't we, you guys? How you grew into the woman before us today. So let's talk about the molting, or the coming out of the chrysalis, the emerging phoenix from the fire. Take your pick. And how it ties into this work you do today, the music. So we know about the book because of that season. Now the music, which came first? The thoughts for the book or the thoughts for the music? Chicken or the egg?
So I have been a singer and a writer since I was a teenager. But I did not have the confidence in my abilities to do that until about 12 years ago, I really started to sit down and write. My grandmother passed away when in 2011. My grandmother was one of my best friends in my life. Both my grandmother and my granddaddy were like two of my best friends. And when my grandmother passed away, I sang at her funeral. And I had one of my cousins reach out to me, and she was like, "You're so gifted and you're so anointed, and you really need to press into that and really use that gift." So I got serious about writing and writing from the heart and trying to figure out how to find my place in the music industry. And I knew that I wanted to dedicate my writing to doing Christian music. So I wrote several songs. I got different advice about how to go about writing and recording. And I actually recorded enough songs to release an EP. But I released the first song in 2012 that was going to be on my EP. And then when the feedback started coming in, and then the work and promoting it and all of this stuff, and it just completely exacerbated my anxiety and sucked all of the joy out of it. So at that point, I said, you know what? I'm just going to focus on being behind the scenes and writing and trying to get other artists, people who are more comfortable being out in front, to record the music.
So you were taking a back seat to your divine gift,
or
or putting your divine gift in the back seat.
Putting it in the back seat. Yeah. Yes. So in 2020, February, I will never forget, February 3rd, 2020, my administrators came to my classroom while I was teaching a class. And they said,
what?
I teach social studies, high school social studies.
Okay, go ahead.
So the administrators came in, opened the door, and they said, "Hey, we've got somebody to watch your class. We need you to go up to the front office." And they didn't just send me to the front office, they walked me to the front office. So my heart started absolutely pounding. I turned the corner and I saw my sister, who had no business being at my job because she had a job and her kids weren't at the school anymore. So she had no reason to be there unless something was going on. And so then they ushered us into, they were like, "We're going to have you come sit in this office." And she called my mom and put her on speakerphone. And my mom told me that my grandfather had passed away. And like, I remember like everything becoming like blurry and echoey. Like it was unreal. I mean, he was 86 and he did live a long life, but like we had just seen him at Thanksgiving and he was fine. And I talked to him all the time and he was fine. And it was just totally unexpected. It was like, if she had told me anybody else had passed away, I would have believed it. But him, he was so like larger than life. Like it was very difficult. And so my sister and I came back to my house, and my first thought when that happened was, I've lived my life in such a way that I messed up when I got married, and then I never got married again, and then I never had kids. And both of my siblings, all of their kids got to meet my granddaddy, and my kids will never meet my granddaddy. And it's my fault that that's going to happen. And I just started going down like all of the wrong turns that I made in life. And that led to anxiety kind of whispering in my ear of all of these horrible things that were going to happen.
Yes.
As a result.
This point for everybody out there, because see, that's why we do what we do here, Toni.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, for that person out there, either live or on the replay, well, actually live is the replay. There it is again. Just know this. When Toni said, it was very telling, when she took it personally, it's my fault. I went down, down, down. The 4 agreements. Don't take anything personally. Do not make assumptions. Be impeccable with your word and always do your best. But those two in the middle, that meat and cheese of that sandwich, that's why I had to stop, because you're giving them living proof of exactly what happens when you take something personal that was not yours to take.
Right.
So what happened then?
So I thank God that my sister is a licensed mental health counselor. She never said the words, but I know that she knew that in that moment, because I definitely thought it, and I know that she knew that I did not want to be here anymore. So she made sure that she stayed with me.
So
that she did not leave me alone. I was considering taking my life.
How long did it take for it to spiral to that?
It was literally that day, the day that he passed away. Like, it was within hours of finding out that he passed away.
Now, did you know previously, Toni, that you had the capacity to go from the woman who went to work to school that day to, within 24 hours, seemingly, someone who would be willing, who could even consider taking her own life? Could you have ever known that that was possible?
Yes, because it wasn't the first time that I had that thought.
So fast.
Yeah.
Wow.
It had happened before when I was 18, when I was in college. I was away from my family, and I had a night where I could not get in touch with anyone. I was feeling very lonely. I couldn't get in touch with my boyfriend. I couldn't get in touch with my parents. And that was before cell phones, where you could just track people down. Like, I was calling people on landlines. Nobody's picking up. My roommate wasn't there. And I started having what I now know, again, going back to things have names now. I started having what I now know was a panic attack.
Those are horrible.
I thought I was
dying the one time.
I thought I was having a heart attack.
Right. That took me to the emergency room. Fingers numb, dropping the phone, foaming at the mouth. It was just.
It's a terrible feeling.
Terrible.
I thought for years that I had some sort of heart condition, and now I realize that I was experiencing a series of anxiety or panic attacks. And at that point, though, when I was 18, I told myself, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. I just want to sleep. And so I was sitting in my bed, and I looked over at my desk, and I had some pills that I was taking for my allergies. When I took one of them, it made me sleep for like 8 hours. I'm very sensitive to medicine. So I poured a bunch in my hands, and I was like, I just want to sleep. And I was about to take them. And in my spirit, I heard Tremaine Hawkins' song, He's That Kind of Friend.
Oh, I love Tremaine.
Yes.
I've known her. I've loved her for years.
I've known her music my whole entire life. She's my absolute favorite artist on top of anybody else. And that song started playing in I could hear it audibly. And this peace and calm came over me. So going back to how music fits into all of this.
That's where we want to go.
In my grieving process, for my grandfather, there's so much that happened. COVID hit a month later, and then later on that year, my whole family got it, and it was during the holidays, and it was just, it was a lot. By a year later, I started to see a little bit of light, and I told myself,
I need to light shining under the door, coming through the blinds of the window. Here's why I'm getting there. Let me just drop this in there. Listen to what she's saying, you guys. She said, I began to see the light. Our wounds, the cracks, that is where the light enters. That is where the light enters. I just wanted to set that up as you go into this next piece of the story. Go right ahead.
Well, I had to acknowledge that I wasn't really strong enough on my own to handle what I was going through. And that's when the light started shining. Like, I kept trying to kind of
make
my way out of.
Yes. Yeah. Where we end, it continues.
Right.
That's why there's the infinity thing. And we're never alone. You see, even with the kids this year, because I know that force is rampant. It wants to get us alone and convince us through the voice of dictatorship. Do the world a favor. Kill yourself. I heard it. It played that record in my mind for decades. Seriously. And so
Yeah.
I get it. And at the time, it sounds like here's the key piece, you guys. It sounds like the only option. But for those of us who are still here, you know what overrode that? We know what the break glass in case of emergency was. It wasn't about what it sounded like. It was about what we knew it felt like. See what I'm saying? Right. See, a big car couldn't have gotten me to that place. Because anything I can touch, a house, wouldn't have gotten me to that place. But it was only those things that I can feel that got me to the place where it was that thing that I could feel. They matched. They were congruent. They were both sides of that thing that looks like an 8 laying on its side. You see, that's what picks up when we can't go on. That's why these stories are so important and why I'm so glad you're here today. Because somebody's speaker just got the wire cut to it, where they were torturing them with that blaring lie over and over and over, because it only takes a second and it's done. It can happen. I'm going to be honest with you, Toni. Something that shocked me in this interview was when you were talking about how quickly you went from the woman at school to the color me Macaulay Culkin. I'm just saying, man. So, okay, let's talk about the healing. We want to set up the song, even though, because then we need to lift them up, because, that was hard. We want to leave everybody lifted up today. Right. So, right. So, but see, that's the thing. It's never about just one thing, y'all. So let's talk about the music and then set up the song. Okay. That we're going to hear today.
So, as I started my healing journey, one of the things I started doing again was writing music. And I wrote a song called Strength to Soar based on Isaiah 40:31. And I sang it at my church. It got a great reaction at the church. And I told my producer friend I wanted to record it. We recorded it. And at that point, I finally felt like, okay, now I'm ready to release music on my own, of my own. So we started getting together ideas to put together an EP, and we landed on 5 songs. One of those songs is a song called Don't You Worry. I wrote Don't You Worry in 2003, just after I got out of law school, where I was studying for the bar, and I was in one of the most anxious points of my life. 2 years prior to that, I had been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, which the diagnosis was a blessing to me. Some people might be like, oh, I don't want to label.
Tell them what that is.
So generalized anxiety disorder is the persistent feeling of anxiety or dread. It interferes with your daily life. It's not the same. We all, everybody worries about something. So something happens, you get stressed, you get worried. It's not that. It is experiencing catastrophic dread, like a regular thing happens and it spirals in your mind into something absolutely catastrophic. So it leads to things like, one of my main symptoms and how I know when I'm having an issue is insomnia. And I have difficulty controlling those feelings of worry. I've, some physical feelings. One of the reasons I don't practice law is because the anxiety that I faced practicing law was causing me to be physically ill. Okay. So this song that I wrote, Don't You Worry, it took a verse that actually used to haunt me before I got my diagnosis and realized this is just the way my brain is wired. The Philippians 4, 6, and 7 said, be anxious for nothing. And that used to haunt me because I was like, Lord, I love you. And I know you created me, but you're telling me to be anxious for nothing. And I'm anxious all the time. I mean, I had lived with anxiety my whole life. It got a name half of my life ago. Okay. So for my first 23 years, I had no idea why I was the way that I was. But I did know once I found out that other people probably felt that same way. And so I had to, the Lord told me, read further in that verse. It says, be anxious for nothing, but in everything with prayer and thanksgiving, make your requests known unto God. So it's not so much about you're never allowed to worry. It's that when those things creep into your mind, bring them to me. Like I always tell people, God wants all the things. He's not surprised by anything. You can bring him. We're good at bringing him big things.
Yeah.
Big things we're good at bringing him.
But
It's
who are
the
we to
little
say?
everything, little everyday things that we're like, oh, I don't want to bother God with that.
It says come as you are,
right?
not just when you have little things.
Right. Come with all the things. God
With
wants
all the things.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a listen, and then we'll come back and wrap up this interview that has been most informative. And you guys stick around, take a listen. Here it is. It's the dance remix. So if you want to get up, move it. Right? Hey, look. If you like it, I love it. Here we go. Don't you worry. Don't be doing it.
Worry creeps into your mind like a thief in the night, robbing you of your peace. You can't see how it will be all right. No need to stress about what God's already got worked out. Don't you worry about a thing. God is faithful and He will take care of you. Don't you worry about a thing. God is able to carry you through. Don't you worry. Don't you.
Uh-oh. Let's plug your roll.
No matter what the problem is,
Come out this roll up in here.
health scare, too many bills. Cast all your cares on Him. Kneel and pray, just give thanks and keep believing. No need to stress about what God's already got worked out. Don't you worry about a thing. God is faithful and He will take care of you. Don't you worry about a thing. God is able to carry you through. Rejoice, rejoice in every trial you go through. Rejoice, rejoice.
Better go,
Peace
man.
of God will be with you. Rejoice, even when times are getting
You're gonna make me get my giant fly swatter.
Rejoice, rejoice, make your request known to God. Don't you worry about a thing. God is faithful and He will take care of you. Don't you worry about a thing. God is able to carry you through. Don't you worry about a thing. God is faithful and He will take care of you. Don't you worry about a thing. God is able to carry you through. Don't you worry. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything with prayer and thanksgiving. Make your request known to God, and the peace that passes all understanding will guard your heart. Don't you worry. Don't you worry about a thing.
Here's the dance break.
You're gonna get put out the church. I'm just playing. I like it till she started shaking all them shoulders. Right. Oh,
Don't you worry about a thing.
oh, I ain't gonna. After that, oh, well, wait. I can do better. We got that thing now. Right. Hold on. I think. Oh my goodness. Oh, wait, you guys, right? That is a hard song. Here we go. Stop. Go on. Stop. Go on. Go on. That was awesome. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to provide the link for you guys in the comment section at the conclusion of today's broadcast in a few minutes. So let's talk about the work. So how's the music thing going, and what's coming up? How can we pour in and support you?
The music is going well. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all of that, all of those places where you can stream music.
I see
People
why.
are listening. I get feedback and comments from people about the songs that touch them. Don't You Worry is by far my most popular song. I have a couple of versions, the original version, which is more of a jazzy one, and then that dance
I
remix.
love that one.
I just felt like, it's such a kind of heavy topic. I wanted to make it a lighter song. It's sometimes Strength to Soar, the title of my EP, that song is, it's very like anthemic, and I have a musical theater background. So it's very like musical theatery and anthemic and like big and heavy with the message. But that one, I wanted to make it more light and fun. So I'm in the process of, I want to release at least a Christmas single. I'm working on a Christmas EP.
Ooh, we love Christmas songs. You have to come back.
So I have
and
some
do
songs.
It.
I will, absolutely. I have some songs that I wrote.
No, listen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had a bunch of country western stars from Nashville. They were on tour, some of them. I'm telling you, what y'all remember that? It was fantastic. So yes. Oh,
that just gives me even more motivation to get this done.
Get it done for the Christmas special. Yeah. She'll be back, y'all. I want to ask you a couple more things before we get out of here today. So what else? Talk about the other things. What do you got coming up this year?
So this year, in addition to making music, I am speaking like I am now, doing podcasts, and hoping to do some more speaking.
Some more stage stuff.
I have gone through the gamut of how to battle anxiety. And I just feel like that message, me being around children as much as I am, I just feel like that message is so important to share.
Can we talk about your anxiety
some of the things that I've learned? We
get out of here?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I want to, because we didn't touch on a part that's very important. How do you manage it? Because, a lot of people have to go to medications and things and nothing changes or it gets worse. There's a bunch of side effects, on and on and on. If you're in the holistic realm, you still got to know where you're going. What are your grounding techniques? What can you offer up to a person who's desperate for something that, in your opinion, in your journey at least, was safe and sound?
So I have done medicine. I have done cognitive behavioral therapy. Here are the things that I've learned that have worked for me, because I'm determined to not have to be on medicine. Step one is listen to your anxiety. Okay. It sounds crazy. Like, I don't want to hear what that's saying. And for a lot of years, I tried to ignore it. I tried to silence it. I would not sit in a silent room. I always had noise on behind me so that I didn't have to hear that voice whispering in my head. What happened when I went to my last therapist was he made me sit in my thoughts and listen to them. And when I did, I realized how ridiculous the things were that were being the thoughts that were happening in my mind. Anxiety is basically being really concerned about something dreadful happening in the future. And I would listen to the things that have happened. And then I look back and realize, like, nothing that my anxiety has ever told me is going to happen has actually happened. And it hasn't happened that way. And it hasn't been that catastrophic. Right. Yeah. So listen to what it's saying. And then you realize that it's not likely telling you the truth. Then you can learn from your anxiety, because all of our feelings, all they are is indicators. Something else is going on. So in addition to not wanting to hear what it said, I didn't want to notice anything about it. I just wanted to try to ignore the problem. And that did not work. So when I actually had to learn from it, okay, peel back the layers. All right, your anxiety is telling you this. That's a lie, but why is that bothering you so much?
Why indeed? And
so when you think about why it's bothering you so much, you peel back the layers of what's really bothering you and what's really causing the anxiety, and you can attack that thing as opposed to just trying to attack the anxiety. Does that make sense?
It makes plenty of sense.
Yeah.
So when they head over to your website, they're going to find all things Toni LaShaun. There it is up on the top of your screen, and scrolling underneath is the road to the YouTube, where you'll find music and much more. Listen, I just want to say thank you so much for coming in after hours to get this in so that we could pour into people yesterday, today. I had to get one more in, y'all. And just keep doing what you're doing. If we can ever be of support, anything we can do to help get you to the next slab of the sidewalk, you let us know. And in the meantime, keep working on that Christmas song. I'm not kidding. Come back for our Christmas special. We'd love to have you. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for making this work.
Yes. I wouldn't have any. I knew it was good. I just knew it. Listen, just like I knew that, I know about y'all, and I know that I wouldn't want to do this without you. I couldn't do it without you. So listen, why don't we make a deal, right? I will meet you tomorrow morning right over there on the front porch. Or is that today? Got another one. Okay, I will see you. No, really, tomorrow morning. Over on the front porch, we're together. We can have another illuminating conversation. We can create another divine memory together. All right. Now get out of here. Remember, as I say every time we say goodbye, I love you. I mean it. And there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. How you like me now? Love y'all. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Toni. Great job. Great music. Go out and pick up some of it. Download it today. I'm gonna see you guys. Bye-bye.
Show me your soul.